The X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, REL-MAR McConnell Media Company, the X Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. I am Rob McConnell, coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, on the Talkstar Radio Network, iHeart Radio Network, Mutual Broadcast Network, and of course the X Zone Broadcast Network. If you'd like to send me an email, it's very simple, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On all social media sites, X Zone Radio TV. And to find out about the programming we have available for you 24/7, 365, it's very simple. Just go to www.xzbn.net. My first guest tonight is Dr. Mark Davis. He is a medical doctor and a native of Brooklyn, New York, now living in the confines of northern Maryland. He's a graduate of the SUNY Upstate Medical School and multiple years of postgraduate training. In between managing health facilities, he practiced internal medicine with concentrations on nutrition, weight loss, and gerontology. His resume for writing includes hundreds of published articles in the sciences, astronomy, medicine, space travel, politics, and UFOs. Additionally, there are 6 books in print with his moniker on them, and he has had the privilege of being a frequent guest on an array of radio programs. Dr. Mark Davis, welcome back. Great talking to you again, Dr. Davis.
Thank you for having me, Rob. I really appreciate being on your show.
Listen, since you and I talked, I've noticed when Stephanie sent us the information that you were going to be on and we're going to be talking about diets, that it seems that everybody's getting fatter.
Yes, the world is getting fatter. America specifically is getting fatter. It's the availability of food. People not watching what they eat. They just eat carte blanche, and they consume too many calories based on their body functions and bodily needs. Physically, people are not as active as they should be as well. So the weight accumulates, especially people over 30. They start accumulating weight. And then it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad for everything. That means healthcare costs are going to go up,
exactly,
and up and up and up, and then people are going to get sicker and sicker. And we're seeing more people die from heart disease and other kinds of diseases, including cancers, starting in their 40s. So it's a sad thing that we're seeing.
What impact, in your opinion, sir, do all these restaurants that offer the luxury of driving through? Is there any statistics to base the increase in the obesity based on all these different restaurants instead of getting out of your car and walking in and getting your order and just driving through? You've got drive-through restaurants, drive-through pharmacies, drive-through cleaners, drive-through banks, drive-through funeral homes, for goodness sake.
That's correct. You see those out in California, specifically drive-through funeral homes.
Yeah.
These are convenience food, and these abilities to drive through is a convenient way of getting your food, and it's easy and quick, and many people don't think twice about what they're ordering. They order 2 or 3 Big Macs. Nothing against Big Macs at all, but the calories are enormous. People eating sugared cereals, eating high fructose corn syrup. Just about every item you buy with sugar has high fructose corn syrup, which is not digested like regular sugar. So it accumulates as well. I mean, the sum total is there's a lot of food available. People are not thinking about what they're eating, and they're grotesquely overweight in many cases. And here in America, especially, over 50% of the population is defined as overweight.
Are there any statistics or studies that you're aware of, Doctor, that take into consideration the growth of the computers, the video games that kids now play instead of going out and playing baseball, soccer, or football like you and I used to do when we were kids?
You're referencing inactivity. Yes, there's plenty of data to support this. Multitudes of people are inactive, not only children, young adults, late teens, early 20s, people staying at home, watching TV, not performing the functions that we used to do, go out in the streets, play ball, run, jog. And there's plenty of joggers for sure, but the number compared to population is low, and we need to get that up and make people healthier and healthier. So shortened lifespans you've seen as a result of this. Yes. And then that's true. That's really true.
How about the increase in GMOs?
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, this is part of the deal. This is part of it.
Wow. What's the difference between your diet ebook called The Fat Zone 21st Century Dieting and other diets that are on the market, Dr. Davis?
Thank you for asking. Well, there's a major difference. First of all, it's economical. The foods listed on the diet regimens and the menus specifically are easily accessed. They're not expensive at all. There's no prepaid food to buy. You don't have to buy meals. You don't have to have deliveries made to your home. And they're easily to access. Specifically, the products that we chose to be on the diet were also inclusive in the Millennium Diet, The Practical Guide to Rapid Weight Loss, which was a very successful book back about 8 or 9 years ago. This is an update of that book, and this is an e-book now, not a regular. So it's easy. It's a lot less expensive than the old book was. And we detail why people should eat certain specific food groups over other food groups. And we try to eliminate just about as much sugar as we could out of people's diet without making them starve for sugar, because people will starve for sugar. We added multigrain breads as an example, as opposed to white bread. We took cold cuts. People like cold cuts, bologna, salami, things that we went to turkey breast, lean ham, lean chicken breast, that kind of thing. We stayed away mostly from Chinese food, unless it's steamed vegetables, steamed rice. We also recommend brown rice, which has more vitamins than white rice. But if they have to have rice, no more than a half a cup dry weight. The cereals we chose were light on the sugar, no more than 120 calories for a half a bowl of cereal with skim or 1% milk. So what we did was we tethered down diet into specific 1,200 calories approximately. It's very hard to get to a specific calorie number. We're aiming at 1,200 calories per day. We're enhancing certain vitamins and minerals within the diet structure itself. And it's well proven that these type of foods will help people lose weight rapidly and safely. With the Millennium Diet, we saw some patients lose up to 35 pounds in 5 weeks.
Yeah.
We think this diet will push more people from 15 to 25 pounds in a month, which is a very good weight loss for a diet program as well. And again, there's no super fees that people have to pay for to buy these foods, and they're readily accessed in any grocery store, supermarket.
You know, that's very important that you mentioned the loss of weight, because a cardiologist will tell you that if you lose too much weight too fast, it's not very good for your heart.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not. And if you have vicissitudes of weight going up and down over a period of time, that's not good. It's better to stay at one weight level, but that one weight level should be a lot lower than the weight levels that we're seeing now in people. So you're seeing a person with 5'8", weighing 240 pounds. That's about 50 pounds more than they should be.
Yeah.
If you want to go down to the thin area, that's 160 to 180 in their body mass index. But I would say if people could reduce 50 pounds of weight, they're helping their heart, their lungs, and their longevity as well. People want to live longer. You can do it by diet, and it's well proven now. It's not a science fiction fantasy anymore. People can live longer just based on diet.
Years ago, I did the Atkins diet, and I'll tell you something, Dr. Davis. I lost weight very fast. I craved carbs like anything. You know, if I saw spaghetti, my God, it was like, I've got to have some. And when I went off the Atkins diet, I gained more weight.
Yeah, there's a rebound phenomenon that people experience oftentimes when they go off diet. The way the fat zone would work is you tenor down off the foods, heavy foods, and you stay down there pretty much. And you learn how to eat properly as well. If you look at some of the celebrity diets, they were offering lasagna, chocolate cake, pizza, all the things I love too. I mean, I'm not saying I don't like these things. But for weight loss, for diet specifically, if you want to lose weight, you have to be on a diet 24/7. You can't be a part-time dieter. In other words, Monday to Friday, you diet, and over the weekend you binge. You can't do that because the body works on a full-time schedule.
How, I'm a drinker of water. I used to drink a lot of coffee. I don't drink coffee anymore. I don't even drink decaf coffee because my doctor said, there's no big difference, so just stick to water. I stick to water. I got myself a little unit that adds carbon dioxide into the water. Yeah. It's like drinking soda water or club soda.
Yeah.
And you know what? I feel better. I sleep better.
Do you find it a little bland when you do that? I mean, when you put carbon dioxide into the water? Because it's the same thing as a Coke without the Coke syrup. That's basically what you're doing.
I just use some real lemon juice. I squeeze a fresh lemon into it. Yeah. Gives it a bit of flavor, or a fresh orange, and I'm good like that. Doctor, you and I have to take our first break. Please stand by. Great talking to you again, Dr. Davis.
Sure.
Exo Nation, Dr. Mark Davis is my special guest. If you'd like to contact Dr. Davis, his email address is platomd@gmail.com. That's platomd@gmail.com. And Dr. Davis and I will be back on the other side of this commercial break as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in beautiful Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And if you'd like to find out more about the X Zone, if you'd like to find out what other programming we have available for you 24/7, 365, visit the website www.xzbn.net. We'll be back after this break. Don't go away. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone radio show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone broadcast network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365. Gwilda Wiyaka's latest book, The Science of Magic, Book of Mysteries, Volume 1, is the first book in a series based on her writings that open every episode of the Science of Magic radio show. Drawing on the subject matter of each guest and armed with over 40 years' experience in shamanism, 35 years in alternative health, and degrees in psychology and religious studies, Gwilda introduces relevant and leading-edge information that supports spiritual evolution and personal empowerment. Rich with wisdom and inspirational quotes packaged in digestible segments, this is a book that will pull you from cover to cover. It will also serve as a daily inspirational reading for years to come. The Science of Magic Book of Mysteries, Volume 1 is available at our website, tsompublications.com, amazon.com, and wherever fine books are sold. Back in Victorian England, a famous theologian posed a perplexing riddle. Why are the two top personalities in the Bible tagged with the numbers 7 and 11? Academics agree the answer is found in the stunning discovery of a hitherto secret Bible structure explained in a new book called The Genesis Grid. The discovery is so simple that preschool children could illustrate it. Certain claims are hugely controversial and may offend some, but at the X Zone, we've studied this awesome new book and agree with one expert, and I quote, "These discoveries appear to be beyond coincidence." So who or what hid this wonderful pattern in the Bible, and what might they do next? Find out more, X Zone Nation, and read reviews on www.genesisgrid.co.uk. That's www.genesisgrid.co.uk. Explanation, our hearts, our prayers, and our thoughts go down to all the people who listen to the X Zone in Parkland, Florida, on our affiliates down there. A horrific day down there, and God bless each and every one of you. And to the first responders, the members of law enforcement, and the rescues and the ambulance drivers, guys, you did a fantastic job, and thank you for being there. Dr. Mark Davis is our special guest, platomd@gmail.com. And can you give us an example about what people can look forward to when they go and download your ebook?
Oh, what they could get is an 8,000-plus word ebook, very easy to read. You could probably read it in an hour or less. You could learn the menus probably within several hours of reviewing the menus and using them. Let's say you go to a supermarket, you'll have the information in your mind what to pick out, what to shop for as well. It'll tell. There's no recipes in the book. You make your own recipes based on the information that's given as well. It also discusses longevity in terms of diet, exercise, vitamins, those kind of things. And there is solid basis for that because we give references to articles that you would see that you can live longer with dieting. And that's basically what the diet is. It's not a hard read at all. It's an easy read, and people get through it in an hour and 20 minutes, maybe at the max.
I would imagine that people are so used to living in a quick fix society that they think that everything, including diets, should, work overnight, bang, once the weight is off, it stays off. But there's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah, the food system has changed since the 1940s. They started adding chemicals into the food system as well. And sometimes we see elevations of cancers, especially colon cancer, rectal cancer, and so forth. So as the 40s went forward, and it's not the farmers' fault, they were looking for ways to increase crop yields. So these fertilizers came in and other chemicals. Then they used certain types of insecticides that came in, like DDT, that kind of thing, in the 1950s and 60s, that would kill vermin at the crops. But then we saw eggs, for example, from birds that were very, very thin, the outer shells of eggs. So birds were dying and animals were dying with DDT. But what we see now in the food, what's embedded into the food, is there is a lot more chemicals and hormones in the food than there should be. With gamma ray radiation for meats that we've been seeing to kill bacteria. There's a lot of osteophytes in meats as well, and there's certain levels of bacteria that are allowed here in the States to be in meat as well. And McDonald's is unfortunately one of those companies that allows a certain amount of material into their foods. Very little, though. They're an extremely good company, but you're allowed to have a certain amount of chemical in the food. And there's no big sign out in front of McDonald's saying that. And not only McDonald's, I mean, all the fast food restaurants. I'd just be very careful, especially if you're dieting. Well, but to be fair, with fast food, you don't have to pick hamburgers. You can pick salads. There's plenty of salads in these places. And there's tacos and all kinds of things that are a lighter fare in many of these restaurants. So to be fair to the fast food industry, it's the choice of the individual person, not necessarily the restaurant.
Years ago, Doctor, there used to be a lot of talk about aspartame. And it seems that the word aspartame isn't as popular out there as it is today. And yet, from what I've noticed going shopping with my wife, aspartame is still being used in a lot of foods.
Yeah, aspartame is still being used, especially in sodas and drinks. We see still aspartame. Aspartame causes headaches, dizziness, because neurological problems as well. I would tell people to avoid it, especially people who are allergic to it. But on the other side, they used to use saccharin, and there was studies out of Canada showing that saccharin could cause cancers, especially in rodents, mice, rats, that kind of thing as well. That was backed off it as well. I'd stay away from most of these chemicals if I was to tell people, because the levels of cancer around the world are going up and up and up and up. Even if you can catch them early, you still get the cancer. So it may be less intense, but you need to be very careful what you eat.
What would you suggest for people who go onto your diet and who develop the cravings for what they used to like going out for a couple of beer after work, or going to lunch and grabbing a big sloppy, juicy, fat-ridden burger with oversized French fries and and two
Well,
aspartame.
let's look at the a double burger from any restaurant is 800 calories, or a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit at 450 calories, or a single burger. It would be about 200 to 400 calories, depending on the company you're purchasing from. That's a lot of calories. What do I tell you? A beer, light beer is 100 calories for 12 ounces. The heavier beer is 150 to 200 calories as well. You keep adding calories, you're not going to lose any weight.
That's right.
I would tell them to stay off alcohol, especially if you're dieting. Please stay off alcohol. Now, some people burn it up faster than others, but usually those are the people in the younger ages because their livers are working a little bit better than us old timers like myself.
And myself.
Well, we never tell that to the radio show hosts.
Listen.
Very careful.
Well, you know what? I believe that honesty is the best policy. That's why I use my real name. That's why I say where I am, because I want my listeners to know that the guy on this side of the mic is the real.
You're very popular down here, Bob.
Really, eh?
Yeah, Rob, you're very popular.
That's great to hear. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Let's switch topics here because I always love talking to you because we can go all over the spectrum. Yeah. I remember talking to you about global warming. And has your opinion of global warming changed as to whether it's real or if it's fake?
It's more harder than ever. Let's take what is the basis for global warming? According to the map that people draw up, they're showing us over 150 years, global temperatures have gone up 1.5 degrees. We really couldn't detect temperature variations like that until satellites came into vogue, the ones that could detect the temperature around the world in the late 1970s and forward. So the numbers that come up from the late 1800s all the way through into the 70s, 1970s, they may not be accurate as well. And if you consider that the Earth is warming and cooling and warming and cooling, these are variations in the seasons. I haven't seen anything to support any more data to say that the Earth is warmed to what people say it is. The other thing is carbon dioxide in the atmosphere has been staying pretty constant for the last 40 or 50 years at 0.04%. Carbon dioxide is one element in the atmosphere that would cause heat retention on the Earth. If you look at Venus, for example, that entire atmosphere is full of carbon dioxide and other chemicals in the atmosphere, which keeps the surface temperature well over 800 degrees. So we don't have anything like that. The Earth has this ability to radiate heat into space. So I don't see it. Now, is there climate change? Sure, we can prove climate change over the millennia. That's been happening for sure. But global warming, in the time mankind from the Industrial Revolution in Europe forward, not much. No. It's man's ego believing that he could change the environment that quickly, and I don't believe that's the case.
We were talking earlier about food and longevity. And if we go outside the plan of the life expectancy of a person and we increase the longevity of people and we don't do anything to regulate the birth rate, aren't we just looking at a major problem?
Sure. We have over 7 billion people on the Earth at the present time, which would hit 8 billion in the next 5 to 10 years. Yes, that could be a major problem. But when you're talking about extending lifespan, you also have to talk about extending the quality of life as well. And I think that would be the case. Also, we'll be moving out to space soon. The SpaceX could get their act together and the other companies. So maybe we'll be inhabiting the moon. Yes, but that would be a major social issue, that the world population is expanding, as Pearl Ehrlich said in his book Population Bomb. And what are we going to do about social services, health care?
Exactly.
This is a major problem. We don't have the money right now, especially down here in the States. We're in such debt, $21 trillion in debt. So it could just get worse. But nevertheless, we're headed in that direction. The biological longevity, excluding a health catastrophe, is 120 years for humans at this point in time. I think 1 or 2 have gotten close to that. Other people say there's somebody out there that's 146. Unconfirmed. But we've seen people be 114, 100. These are super centenarians that are out there. I would say we're going to go exceed that, maybe 150, even 200 years
My goodness.
down the road. Why? Because we're understanding the genome a lot better. We're understanding the enzymes involved with transcribing DNA much, much better. We have the facilities now to modulate DNA, and it's just a matter of getting our formulas right in terms of the chemicals. We should not be eating the chemicals, pharmaceuticals that we should be taking to extend longevity. So it may come by diet. Right now it's diet, but eventually it's going to come by other ways. And I think pharmaceuticals are going to cause extension of lifespan. I think that's the way it's going to be at the end of the day.
Dr. Davis, please stand by, sir. We've got to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. Exonation, Dr. Mark Davis is our special guest. And if you'd like to send Dr. Davis an email, if you'd like to ask him any questions or suggest topics for his future books or whatever, he's very easy to contact. His email address is platomd@gmail.com. That's platomd@gmail.com. And if you'd like to find out more, you can visit these websites, superbookreviews.com, science and journal article editing.com, and medicalboardusa.com. I'm Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone. Dr. Mark Davis and I will return on the other side of this news break as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away. From our broadcast studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, to the world and beyond, you're watching the X Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net.
AVS Media Den.
The scientist and the mystic have been on an age-old, relentless search with one thing in common. They seek truth. Their paths converge in the 40,000-year-old practice of shamanism, an ancient science delving to the quantum level of life, facilitating healing, manifestation, and evolution. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka, the founder and director of Path Home Shamanic Arts School, a unique Colorado State certified occupational school training shamanic practitioners and teachers. We also provide classes for empowering personal lives through shamanism. Our certification classes are in week-long segments enabling international participation, and online classes and long-distance shamanic healing sessions are available. Come discover the science of magic in the limitless world of shamanism. www.findyourpathhome.com.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365. Rob McConnell here, presenting an overview for Nicholas Paul Jennings, author of a fascinating book, Amen. It presents facts revealed by Egyptologists, facts that enable us to understand why Amen is the beginning of creation of God. It provides recommendations for religious leaders of the major religions to unify their beliefs and teach the Word of God. Love one another. Amen informs people how mankind conceived God. It was the Egyptians that developed the concepts of a soul, a hereafter, and Son of God. And finally, after the worship of many gods, they conceived the belief in one universal God, the maker of all there is. For more information, visit www.futureofgodamen.com. That's www.futureofgodamen.com. Welcome back, everyone. Dr. Mark Davis is our special guest. He is a medical doctor. His email address is platomd@gmail.com. And we were talking about the doctor's new diet ebook, The Fat Zone 21st Century Dieting. And where is your book available, Dr. Davis?
Smashwords, Amazon, anywhere ebooks are sold. It's sold all over the planet.
Excellent. Excellent.
Get it anywhere.
We were talking about the diet. We were talking about the right foods. We were talking about sugar. We were talking about how lazy people are, the obese crisis. We were also talking about longevity, and that brought up two questions that I'd like to ask you about. Number one, superbugs. Why are bugs getting smarter? Is it because we are finding ways to combat them?
Yes, bugs are getting a lot smarter. Animals are getting smarter as well, because as food reserves decrease, they have to learn where to go. Not only getting smarter, they're getting more toxic at times to get those food supplies. Yes, we see that. You look at the mosquito problem. They put in neutered mosquitoes in Florida and other places to kill other mosquitoes. So we have to learn to be smarter than the animals in the insect world if we're going to survive on this planet. And there's a lot more of them than there is of us.
I think we should start paying more attention to Mother Nature and how she had created a balance that works. And we should stop interrupting her and get back to working with her. For example, bats eat multiple mosquitoes every night. And there's so many things that we can do as a global community that, honest to gosh, doctor, it just baffles me why people don't want to do more.
Well, we should be doing more. We should stop burning forests in South America. That's just one little part of it. We should stop building buildings over so much land area that have grass. I mean, we need to see the world more. We need more trees. We need more grass. We need more green. Green is what provides the atmosphere.
Yeah.
That's the filter. Not only provides oxygen, but it filters the oxygen and other chemicals in the air as well. So I know the seed plays a part in that, but basically it's the growth on the land itself that causes the major amount of oxygen to be put into this atmosphere. If we take away those things, if we take away the trees, it's just a time period which we won't have any oxygen. Of course, a lot of it will go out into space then.
That's right, and one of the biggest areas that produces the fresh oxygen that we require as a species to continue is the Amazon rainforest, and that is getting industrialized. It's getting knocked down and burned, and there are so many organizations that are trying their very best to stop the growth of the depletion of the Amazon, and I wish them all the best of luck.
Yeah, and Brazil's been hit hard.
Oh, very hard.
Countries surrounding Brazil, they have to stop that.
Yeah.
Because they're a major factor in causing the air to be more. See, we have pollution, no doubt. Cities have pollution. We see China, we see Beijing, Japan, and so forth. And if we don't have the filters that are available that come, because the air circulates around the world, the air currents, we're going to have a real problem down the road. I'm not talking about in the immediate future, but in the extended future, we will have a major problem.
I was watching the Olympics from South Korea this morning while I was having my breakfast, by the way, doctor, which is one poached egg and a glass of orange juice. That's my morning. Wow. And as the camera panned the spectators, the majority of people were wearing surgical masks.
Yeah. Well, people are. It's cold there. It's extremely cold. Part of that is if you're taking cold air, especially if you have any lung conditions, it'll burn. Specifically, it'll burn your lungs. So it is very cold there. That may be one reason. The other is there could be quality of air issues as well, because we know there is in China.
Yeah.
So that could be the secondary problem with it. But I know as an asthmatic myself, if the air is too cold and I'm not wearing a face part on my hood, it hurts. So it's both. You saw Shaun White the other day got a 97.75 on his second one to get the gold. His face was covered as well. So you see a lot of people not only wearing masks, but you'll see the actual ski part of the clothes they wear cover their face.
My final question to you as a medical practitioner, a highly respected one at that, is what can be done about the opioid problem in the United States?
Well, a lot of things can be done. First, we could take control of those pharmaceutical companies who have been dumping drugs into pharmaceutical companies. We have, here, let's look at Maryland, where I'm sitting right now. We have opioid pain clinics everywhere. They just introduced marijuana clinics everywhere. So we now we have a double-edged sword. There's not only an opioid problem, we're going to have a marijuana problem soon. Nevertheless, we need to see how many opioids doctors are prescribing. We have had an influx of physicians into this state specifically. I know Florida has a problem as well, who are prescribing tremendous amounts of opioids. I don't want to denigrate any specific physician group, but we know that it's doing that. So there's more controls coming down the pike to see how physicians' practices are, the traditional ways of practicing, and trying to curb some of that material. Here in Maryland specifically, we have an enormous amount of opioid problem, not only dying from it, but we overdose. I mean, some day a week we could have 200 or 300 ODs here.
My gosh.
You know, I mean, it's gotten that bad. And around the country, I think in America, the last statistic I saw was 60,000 people died last year from opioid abuse.
My good God.
Now, they don't only take opioids, they mix it with fentanyl, which is another drug, another toxic drug as well, which is used in surgical procedures. So we have that, and we can do something, but we need to stop the source first.
How about the legalization of marijuana? Is that going to be an asset or a...
I've been cursed at, literally cursed at on different radio programs and emails, things like that, my position on marijuana. I don't believe it should be legalized.
I agree.
I think it should be decriminalized.
Yes.
That is a major difference in that area. I don't think people should go to jail for having marijuana. I think small amounts used in their homes is none of my business, but it's going to extend. Now they went from criminal marijuana to medical marijuana with the strike of a pen on a piece of legislation here in this state. And who is going to be running the medical marijuana dispensaries? None other than the wealthy people and the well-connected people. One of the persons that got a license here actually runs one of the local casinos.
Oh.
So it's gotten to be more political than just scientific and medical marijuana. For what are you going to use it for?
Yeah.
They say it's going to reduce nausea with people that have cancer. Fine, let them have it.
Yeah.
The point is there's better drugs out there than marijuana. They say it's going to help glaucoma. Well, there's a lot better drugs out there for glaucoma than medical marijuana. It's going to take arthritis away. Now, come on. We know this is all recreational.
Yep.
At the end of the day,
I agree with you on everything you said, Doctor. I have a problem though. As a former police officer, I don't know how many people I arrested and put into the system as criminals because of the possession of marijuana that they had on them. I'm not talking about traffickers. I'm talking about people who were, had a couple of joints.
Yeah.
Now, what happens to them?
Look at my book, Demons of Democracy, published on or about 2011, when I state there was $11 billion in fines or penalties against people. Many went to jail for marijuana, which is now medical marijuana. And it's just a waste of time and efforts on the police department's part.
But what happens to these people whose lives have been ruined? They have criminal records. Nobody's talking about exonerating them or getting rid of their records.
There is a lot of corruption in government, tremendous amounts of corruption, and that's part of a corrupt government structure.
Yeah.
That innocent kids are going to have records the rest of their lives. They may not be able to vote, get jobs, go into the military if they choose, get into certain schools, and the list is endless. How these things affect you, because the computers never forget.
But you know what? I believe that if marijuana is legalized on a federal level, then anyone who has been arrested on a marijuana charge that doesn't include trafficking or distribution, their files should be purged.
Well, you may, for marijuana specifically, you may want to purge the records of people that were selling 3 grams of it, or 5 grams, or 8 grams of it, or sharing it with their friends in the police office who found them. I'm fully for the police.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big supporter of the police, but they have better things to do than chase kids with a marijuana cigarette in their back pocket.
Exactly. How many books have you written all told, Doctor?
6.
My gosh.
People want me to write more, but I don't think so. I retired from medicine a little while ago. I went on to do other things. I do a lot of radio, and I really appreciate being on your show. It's wonderful to have that privilege.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
And to write, I write lots of articles. I edit many science journal articles, things like that.
Well, Doctor, you and I have to take our final break. Whenever you're on, time goes by so fast. I'm going to get Stephanie to bring you back in about a month because we still have so much more to cover. But please stand by. We have another 12 minutes together. And Exo Nation, my guest this hour is Dr. Mark Davis, MD. If you'd like to contact Dr. Davis, his email address is platomd@gmail.com. And you can also check out these websites, superbbookreviews.com, Science and Journal articleediting.com, and medicalboardusa.com, and all these websites are going to be on our website, the X-Zone Radio, xzoneradiotv.com later on, so you can just go to that site, click on that. And we've been talking earlier in this interview about his new book entitled The Fat Zone 21st Century Dieting, and it's available in ebook everywhere where ebooks are sold online. I'll be back on the other side of this break with Dr. Davis as we wrap up this hour here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away. Named one of the world's greatest psychics, Elizabeth Joyce is now giving readings worldwide via Skype. Elizabeth Joyce is recognized for her clairvoyant ability to help find missing persons, her analysis of dreams, past life regression work, mediumship, and her accurate predictions. Elizabeth has been a frequent guest on the X-Zone radio show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, now for several years. For an appointment with Elizabeth Joyce, call 201-934-8986 or Skype at elizabeth.joyce. And for more information, you can always visit Elizabeth Joyce online at www.new-visions.com. The new nonfiction book, Razor of Madness, is similar to cult movies like Clockwork Orange, Dragon's Tattoo, or The Other Side of Hell. Wayne Morin Jr. and Thomas Lee Howe will expose widespread and systematic deficiencies in this thought-provoking tell-all novel. Mind control rages among scholars in law schools. Human rights are ignored while thought reform and mental manipulation are accepted practices used as behavior modification. Dr. Louis Jolyon West comes to mind. Media and public scrutiny shows that United States mental hospitals are in fact destructive murder industries. Razor of Madness exposé novel details this epidemic through an in-depth professional and personal investigation. For decades, there has been a revolving door policy that still releases killers and pedophiles back into society. The maestro of mind control continues to haunt America to this very day. Razor of Madness is available in paperback or as a downloadable ebook at Amazon.com.
I'm William S. Peckham. If you enjoy a good mystery with a touch of the paranormal, then you'll love my novel, From Out of the Woodwork. It's the story of a young Toronto contractor, Sean Kennedy, who buys derelict homes, guts them, and turns them into multifamily dwellings. Slums just waiting to happen. When Sean buys 29 Livery Lane, the house fights back. Former owners unexpectedly come out of the woodwork as he starts the destruction. The apparitions come to him when he touches old books, reads hidden letters, rummages through old boxes, finds a locket, or reads a discovered manuscript of a murder mystery. From Out of the Woodwork will take you from 1899 to the horror of the World Trade Center, September 11, 2001. Check out From Out of the Woodwork on my website, www.williamspeckham.com.
Exonation Dr. Mark Davis, MD, is my special guest this hour. PlatoMD@gmail.com is his email address. And we've been talking about, amongst other things, the doctor's new diet ebook that's available on all ebook vendors on the internet. It's entitled The Fat Zone 21st Century Dieting. And a couple of other websites for you to visit, superbookreviews.com, scientific and journal article editing.com, and medicalboardusa.com. First of all, Dr. Davis, thank you so much for joining us here. Always a great pleasure talking to you. But now I'd like to ask you your political views on certain items, on certain topics.
Yeah, please.
Oh, you know, you're the first person, whoever I have, you know, just gotten ready to ask them their political views. You're the first person who said please. So,
please go ahead. I've been challenged so much by politicians.
Oh my gosh,
they hate me, and it's good. Lawyers especially hate me.
All right, let's.
For good reason too. I wrote a book, Demons in Democracy. It's about lawyers. They hate me. I got those rude, bad reviews.
Somebody asked me, what do you call 100 lawyers laying at the bottom of the ocean? I said, I don't know. They said a good start. Yeah. Or how do you know when a lawyer is lying? His mouth is moving.
That's right.
Okay, let's talk about politics. The present state of the U.S. politics. Now, a big thing in the United States. We hear about up here and around the world. We hear about the Dreamers. We hear about the wall on the southern border. And up here in Canada, you know, we don't know if your president is going to one day want a wall between Canada and the United States that we're going to have to pay for as well. But since there's a lot of water between our countries and a lot of the international boundary is through water and then the 49th parallel, we're not worried about that too much yet, because I'm sure that someday the United States will need more lumber and they'll come and see us. But tell me, what is your opinion of the wall on the southern border?
First of the northern border, Canada's a beautiful country. I've been up there, and I think you may want to put a wall to keep too many people from America coming up there, because it's such a beautiful place. So I don't think you're going to have the wall itself. We already have a wall. There is a wall there. There's about 800 miles of wall. It's fencing. It's not complete. It's not high. It's easy to access from the southern side, from the Mexican side. Mm-hmm. Maybe we should enhance it a little. As you may know, they put up a wall in Israel between the Palestinian sectors,
yep,
and it has worked very, very well. And there's a wall, and President Obama has a wall around his house in Washington, D.C., big wall. So the walls do serve a purpose to an extent. They'll keep people out.
Yeah.
Dreamers, they're already here. I'm not for legal immigration at all. I'm against illegal immigration. But these people are already here. I can't see picking up 2 million people, dropping them in some dusty place in Mexico. I think there should be a pathway for these people. I think we should have immigration reform to block any more people coming in illicitly across the border. And the border is a big border. We have very, very good people down there trying to guard the border, but they need help.
Sure.
And the fence would be a big help, not only electronically, but just a physical wall.
Like my wife said, fences make good neighbors.
Right. Yep. Very good neighbors. That's what, and I have a fence around my house, but it's more like a corral kind of fence. You know, but people respect that. I mean, there's something there, a defining point, a definition from where to go from to. And that's a good thing. And the Mexicans, I know there's a lot of criminals in that specific population, but most of them are not. I mean, we hear about MS-13. Mm-hmm. My daughter was out in Long Island, New York, and it was horrible murders by these people. Nevertheless, those people should be rounded up and shipped out, imprisoned, whatever needs to be done to cleanse that area. But most of them are not. If you go to Las Vegas is run by Spanish people,
Yep.
by Mexican people for sure. And they do a lot of the road work here in Maryland for sure. Some of these people don't want to do it. And they're very talented people. They're not only picking grapes or bananas or something. They're very, very they're architects, they're road builders, they're house builders. They're very smart people.
They're very smart people. They're very hard workers, and they're very family orientated.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Most of them are Catholic.
Very religious as well.
And they're very close to their wives
Yeah.
and families. And so I really respect them for that.
Because they will take a job, any job, in order to do their best to support and take care of their family.
Yeah, I have so many acquaintances that are
Yep.
of Spanish origin. I couldn't even count.
All right, let's go across the big pond. Let's cross the Pacific.
Yeah.
We're getting to North Korea.
Yeah.
Your president has the ability to say a lot of things without thinking first.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen between the United States and North Korea? Now, North Korea has built up its nuclear arsenal.
Yeah. They have thermonuclear weapons in there. They're developing a hydrogen weapon. They're developing missiles to launch that will hit the west coast of California. That could hit. That's just a scare recently in Hawaii. They could certainly hit Guam at this point in time. And this problem has been passed down and down and down from Clinton to Bush to Obama, and now somebody with some cojones has come along, so we're not going to push it down the road anymore. Because once this guy gets a viable missile, he may use it.
Yep.
So we have to take a stand someplace. And also his ability to hit Canada is not that, because Canada sides with us at much of the world stage.
You better believe it.
So our Canadian brothers, our English brothers and stuff, must be aware that someone has to do something, and Trump is taking a very, very hard stance against the North Korean dictator,
He has to.
Kim Jong-un, as we should have done with his father before him.
Yeah. But listen, don't get me wrong, I like President Trump. I like the way that he doesn't take any guff, and I think the only reason he gets so much flack from certain people in Washington, as well as the corrupt media, is that he came in on a platform that wasn't based on having politicians put money in his pockets.
Yeah. Well, he didn't have to have that.
Exactly.
And luckily for us, he's in there right now. Because if we would have had another weak president in there, we may have had World War III a long time ago.
Yeah.
For sure. And he's going to take a hard stance. Our fleet is surrounding the Korean Peninsula at this point in time, as you know.
Yeah.
We put in anti-missile systems in South Korea. North Korea, I think, is about 45,000 square miles, but about almost 4 times the size of Maryland. It's not a big place at all. Nevertheless, we can take them on. This is not like the Korean War from 1950 to 53. This would be a totally technical war against them. Very few boots on the ground.
Anyway, I know that the Canadians will be beside our American brothers no matter what happens, because, you're family, and family takes care of family.
Exactly right. And the family should always take care of family. If
Yes,
something
sir.
happened up there, we should run up there in a second to help out, because Canadians have helped us out so much.
Here's a question for you. Is there a chance Amazon might be the only company surviving in the next several decades?
It looks like they're consuming company after company. They've absorbed Whole Foods, which is a very big grocery chain. And now people are complaining there's less foods on the shelves there. They're automating everything as they can. There's already a huge warehouse built here in northern Maryland from Amazon. And if you go up 95 route, which is the major road between Maryland and Maine here, you'll see Amazon centers one after the other. I would think Bezos wants to buy up as much as he can. I don't think the walk-in store like Walmart's are going to go away. For sure, people like to browse.
Sure.
But I think they're going to be consuming more and more and more, because you can't compete. The model that Amazon uses is they subvert prices. They lower prices so much that they put many people out of business.
Well, for example,
just take one item real quick. If you have a baseball cap, let's say the Yankee cap as an example, they have 24 varieties of Yankee cap. If you go into a hat store, you get one. That's it. So Amazon could not only reduce the price but offer a lot more and in one day you get it.
Well, look what they've done with the publishing industry.
Right. They bought the Washington Post for
Yep.
$1, I think, or $2. That was about to go out of business. It was running to the ground. But it's the left of the left Washington Post. It really is. And it's not a fair representation of American news. Neither is CNN, of course, but that's...
Oh, don't get me going on CNN. I call it
the Communist News Network.
I call it Clinton News Network.
That's right, yeah. Same thing.
You know,
it's identical.
I often wonder what would happen to CNN if they hired real reporters instead of the bunch of losers that they have there now. You know, you look at Don Lemon. I'm sorry, his family name, in my opinion, says exactly what he is, a lemon.
Exactly, yeah. He's
you
horrible.
know,
they're all horrible. Van Jones has been hired by them, and every person that who's to the left of is Lenin or Stalin is up on that. We don't watch. You notice in America, at the airports, it's usually tuned to CNN. Why, I don't know. Maybe you can answer that question.
I don't know, my friend. I don't know, but it was so funny yesterday. The guy who does the morning show, Chris Cuomo, the son of the governor of the state, he was saying, or his brother's the governor, I'm sorry. He was saying that, you know, basically, if you don't like the way that we talk about President Trump, you can watch Fox News and Friends.
Yeah. Well, he's just a silly person.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't talk to irrational people because very basis they're irrational. They're just not with it, and I think he knows that deep down. That the things he say are silly, but that's the agenda from CNN and MSNBC and CNBC and so forth.
Dr. Davis, I hate to do this, my friend, but you and I have run out of time for tonight. I want to thank you ever so much for coming on the show, and I'd love to have you back on in the future because there's still so much to talk about.
Yes, we have a lot to talk about, and I really appreciate being on your show.
You take care of
My
yourself. No, sir, the honor is all ours. And take care of yourself. And Exo Nation, if you'd like to find out more about Dr. Davis, I'll put the website addresses on our website, and you can always email him at platomd@gmail.com. I'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away. Modern Esoteric, Beyond Our Senses by Brad Olson, consummates the lifeology story about where humanity originates. It is the lost continents, the primitive wisdom, the mythos of creation, and the rethinking of ancient history as we are taught in academia. There is much more to the story than what we have been told. As this is the first book in the Esoteric series, Modern Esoteric starts at the beginning of time and accelerates up to this modern age. Future Esoteric is book 2 in the series and takes a forward-looking position ahead of today with an open and honest examination of the ET issue and various unexplained phenomena. To discover the writings of author Brad Olson, visit www.bradolson.com. That's www.bradolson.com. Are you or is someone you know struggling with addictions, depression, anxiety, relationships, low self-esteem, lack of confidence, grief, success, and prosperity? Do you know that your subconscious belief plays a big role in the outcome of your hard work? We can help you permanently change the beliefs that may be the reason for your struggles and failures. We care about getting you the return on your investment and the results you are looking for. We can help you be free of the limitations of your past and in realizing your highest potential. We work with people by phone and Skype. For more information, visit us at www.ritasoman.com. That's www.ritasoman.com. Do you think you have energy problems in your home? Do you feel better when you're away than when you're home? Joey Korn is a global leader in the world of dowsing who specializes in personal energy clearing and space clearing. He can help you create an ideal energy environment in your home no matter where you live in the world. Learn about his remote spiritual house cleaning services and much more at www.dowsers.com. You can get Joey's book, Dowsing, A Path to Enlightenment, as well as other dowsing books and tools, Kabbalah books, and Walter Russell books. Joey's work is really amazing. Go to dowsers.com right now. That's DOWSERS.com, or call 1-877-DOWSING. That's 1-877-369-7464.